grow to be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. That's right. It's not just about being rich, and it's not just being inherited. We share tips every week so you can grow and improve in your physical, mental, financial, intellectual, social, and your spiritual health. Today, we're focusing on how to improve your spiritual health holistically. So, your holistics will be the topic, and we're going to improve our spiritual health. If you've never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental beliefs that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. In the spirit of authenticity, to remove as much bias as possible, we do not talk about our tips or advice before the show, so you are going to see 3 awesome guests with 3 awesome tips based on their own life journey without anyone telling or talking about how this show is going to go. Whoo! Audience, if you are watching this is an interactive show. Please leave us all your comments, ask all your questions, and we will get to them live so our guests can be on the hot seat. So if you have any questions, definitely don't be afraid. Ask them in the comments and we'll put them on air. If you want to be a guest on our show, we're dropping that link right now. We believe everyone in this world has something to share and that you should come be a guest on our show. Always love new guests, and we'll help you. If it's your first time podcasting, do not worry. Just let us walk you through it. It's super simple. If you're in life right now and you have a topic idea, please send it to us. We're always looking for new topic ideas. We'll go out and we'll find 3 awesome guests to give you some advice on that. Maybe you're financially a little stuck and you need some help with a certain thing. Maybe you're spiritually lost and you need a little help. Let us know. We will go out and do all that hard work and get some awesome tips for you. If you love what we do, sharing information with the world, please don't forget to do the old like, share, comment, subscribe, or however you watch, wherever you watch. Definitely helps us a lot, and we love it. Oh, yeah, perfect. We also offer a free one-on-one growth session with me. I love talking to you and helping you, and I spend all week learning from the smartest people on the planet. So if you want to hang out one-on-one, we'll drop that link right now. Sign up. Huge announcement. We finally have merchandise available. We have shirts and magnets and all that kind of stuff. We're dropping the link right now. Would love to get you in your shirt. It's so cool to have a Millionaires Are Made shirt. You should go check it out. And finally, without anything, I'd love to shout out some of our followers. Please follow us if you want to get a shout out on Facebook. Dion Stein, thank you so much. Instagram, Sammy. TikTok, Edenea Oliveira. And YouTube, W. Cushing. Thank you so much for following us. And we're going to quickly go over our sponsors for this episode. Our first sponsor we have is Jesse Lewis, and brings unforgettable entertainment to your event with Jesse Lewis. He's a comedy hypnotist. He's hilarious. He's been on our show. And he has not hypnotized anyone on the show, but he's made everyone laugh. He does interactive shows all around the world. Hire him at your next event to amaze and engage your guests. Our next sponsor is Sarah Jones, who had a really awesome story, sad story, buried in debt, unhappy in her marriage, making a lot of money but had no idea what to do with it. So she hired one of those big name programs to get out of debt, and it resulted in more unhappiness, and she set out to find out a way through the money mess. Now her and her husband are happier than hell. They travel in an RV around the U.S., and she's a financial coach helping people build healthy financial foundations. Sarah's awesome. Go check her out. We are also sponsored by Anthony McCauley, who's an endurance and wellness coach. All you fitness freaks out there that are looking to improve cycling, triathlons, or even just running, check out Anthony. His passion is longevity and mental toughness to help you push your limits and reach your full potential. And our final sponsor for this episode is Anupama, who's an amazing happiness coach. If you are not 100% happy, you should go check her out, say hi. She's a wellness healer and a speaker and helping people find deep soul connection through mind and body. Based out of India, but featured globally. She's the author of the Zero Effort Journal. Go check her out. She also does free happiness sessions, and that link is being dropped right now. She's awesome, and it is now time to bring out our first guest, Lori. Lori, who are you?
Hey, good morning. Well, in a nutshell, I think I'm a serial entrepreneur. got my hands in a lot of buckets, always working, grinding. Pretty much that's all I do, 6, 7 days a week. Maybe I'm addicted to working. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it definitely is something that I can say that I wear that label, sometimes loud and proud and sometimes an embarrassment. I got kids, 3 of them. I got a grandchild. I got another grandchild on the way, and spend most of my time as a crazy cat lady. That's pretty much sums me up.
Works a lot, has kids, grandkids, but still a crazy cat lady. All right, Lori, I've got a very important question for you. If
Yes.
I wanted to improve my spiritual health holistically, what tiny
Okay.
piece of advice would you give me?
Hmm. Well, as somebody who honestly, I take a holistic approach from pretty much everything that I do. I'm going to say that probably is what works for me. Maybe not for everybody else, but my tip would really be to create a daily ritual that aligns with yourself, mind, body, and spirit. What works for me is I got to go out and hug those trees. Being an entrepreneur, I get stressed out, anxiety. There's always the unknown. We never know if a deal's going to close or what's going to happen next. So I develop habits for myself that usually start out with gratitude. I text my kids
Nice.
in the morning from the previous night before. So having to do they never do it back, but that's okay. I text them every day, tell them all the things that I'm grateful for about them. And then while I'm out hugging those trees, I'm typically just letting my mind run. Right. And I think that's one of the biggest things is that clearing that mental clutter and having a space to do it. It's almost kind of like everyone that probably goes out and walks in nature can agree that it's almost like it's a natural filter of some sense, that the energy is just so different. And that energy shift is really what puts me in a space of coming back to clarity and calm, regulating my emotions. Um, and then probably another tip is journaling. Sometimes I just pick up the pen and write, and it doesn't make any sense, but I don't need it to. It's just a way to get it out and move it through. Somebody was telling me about some energy work they were doing and about putting the motion, and that without putting the in motion, that there's no way to put the energy and move it through. So I think that putting the pen to paper was a good way to mentally move things out. But yeah, I think tip wise, that would be what I would tell people: practice your gratitude, get out in nature, walk around, hug those trees, and
Hug those trees.
yeah. I think one of the
Lori.
funny ones, I throw rocks.
Oh, I like that. All right. I can get behind that. Lori, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
So it took me a while. I actually went to a retreat. Oh God, I don't want to age myself here, but 15, 20 years ago, and
When
was
you were
really
15.
learning.
Okay.
Yeah, was learning to move the emotion out of my body, because as an entrepreneur, especially a solopreneur, you don't know what outlets to take, and I was finding myself in states of extreme unhappiness. And I decided that if I didn't do something, that I wasn't going to be able to make it. So I went to a retreat, came home, and forced myself to practice. And just like anything else, right? It took a while for me to really practice and create the habits necessary.
Awesome. I love it. All right, Lori, we're going to move on to our next guest. Thank you so much for your insight. Next up, we have Tim. Tim, who are you?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Tim Murray. I am a realtor in Denver, Colorado. I'm also a personal trainer and coach and yoga instructor. So I've been doing all of that for more than 20 years.
Wow. All right, Tim, I've got a question for you. If I wanted to improve my spiritual health holistically, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
I think the biggest thing for a holistic approach to spirituality is to just daily to recognize that we're part of something much larger than ourselves. There's a higher power, whatever that is, whatever however you visualize God or internalize God, and that's something that's universal to all of us, and that God is also inside of each one of us. Be able to recognize that spirituality in everyone around you.
Awesome. I love it. Where on your life journey did you learn this advice, Tim?
Oh, man, I've been studying Buddhism and Hinduism, Eastern philosophy stuff my whole life. I mean, like 30 plus years, meditating daily. And I think that, I can't pinpoint one specific place that came from, but it just seems to be the glue that holds us all together. If you're on that channel, if that's something you're open to.
Cool. I love it. All right, Tim, we're going to move on to our next guest here. Next up, we have Rainbow. Rainbow, who are you?
Well, I am Rainbow Riley. My name says it a lot. A lot of the people call me Riley, thinking that that's my full name, but my actually parents named me Rainbow because they knew the gift that I was going to be moving forward with, being what a lot call a shaman. I don't really know what to name it. I think it's silly putting any of us in any tiny boxes. However, I provide a bridge to people to their inner authentic self. Throughout life, we spend so much time putting on programs thinking who we need to be, who our parents thought we needed to be, who the people that we meet and idol thought that we needed to be who we thought everybody else wanted to be. Then we find out one day that there's more to that, So when you ask me who I am, I'm not just what I do. I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a caretaker for anybody that I come around. I bring light, I'm dark, I'm anything that any of us experience. I'm a mirror for you is the biggest thing that I'm learning in this last month, in this new year, and the energy that's coming forward in Aquarius is I am a mirror of each of you.
I love it. That's a great answer for who are you. All right, Rainbow, I've got an important question for you. If I wanted to improve my spiritual health holistically, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
The most powerful advice that I have, and that only advice that I give is advice that I've experienced and lived myself, is accountability. Accountability and awareness, and stop looking outside yourself for anything that you need, and anything answers that you have are inside. And so accountability, once we take accountability in the way people treat us and what we do, and in the boundaries that we hold and the things that we allow to happen in our lives, everything again is a mirror. It goes right back to being a mirror. So what you're seeing in your life is something you're calling to you. I tell the people that I work with, because I waitress part-time, I tell them, hey, when you come into work and you're in a crappy mood, and then all of a sudden you're getting all these tables that are in a bad mood, what do you think you did? You just mirrored your entire evening's experience in life, the people you bring, your partners, everybody. When you're noticing there needs to be a change, take accountability. Let's stop blaming our parents for our childhood. I did it, and I'm not saying I've been through some really horrible things. If ever you want to reach out, I'll tell you about them and share them. But I believe that it's important that we all have awareness of what part we have in our life. Accountability, completely.
And I like to say it's not your fault where you start, but it is your fault where you end.
Yes. And I don't even want to say fault where you start. I'll just agree in my experience that I think I chose a lot of the things that I experienced so that I was able to help the people that we're going to also need to see how these experiences are here to help us grow and become our expansion of who we are. And without those, we couldn't stand on the sturdy ground we do today.
I love it, Rainbow. Rainbow, where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
So back to life experience. I was a little girl. It started when I was 4 years old. My mother said that I would just come up with these premonitions. I would sit up in the car one time. This was just one of the many times my family said that I would tell things that would happen. And I would say, my daddy's back hurts very, very bad. And this was before we had car seats and and seatbelts and phones and stuff. So I sat up between the car and I told my mom this, and I said, Daddy's back hurts very bad. And she said, I just sat back and went back to playing like anything was normal. Well, she got home because, of course, we didn't have phones. She got on the answering machine and there was a message from my dad saying, or the hospital saying he had a heat stroke. Well, ever since I was little, I went through traumas that helped create sexual traumas, experiences, everything. I literally know what to do through the experiences that I have felt deeply, and now I'm able to look at and not think, gosh, it happened to me. Truly, it happened through me. And so my life experience, you're not going to go to a therapist or somebody and they're not going to have that same experience, and they're not going to be able to be on that level with you, and they're going to tell you they've never experienced it, and you're not going to connect in that same way. So each and every one of us have experienced things that we are passionate in, that we are moving forward in, and that's myself. Again, I've learned these things by experiencing. I'm a single mother of 4 children. I took care of them by myself. Alcoholism, not only in my family, my dad was like that. My mom had to deal with the drugs and all kinds of, I mean, if you could tell the stories, life experiences, I think all of us, everyone is here where we are because of our life experience.
Wow. Powerful, powerful, Rainbow. Great. Well, let's bring out the rest of our guests and do a little round robin. Audience, this is a great time to ask questions if you have any. We'll start with Lori. Can you quickly refresh what your tip was?
Yeah, basically finding what works for you. I kind of joked around saying I was going to go hug some trees, but in all, seriousness, yeah, get out, nature, walk, change your environment, change the energy, and really just find a way to move through what's happening instead of sitting in it.
Love it. Tim, what are your thoughts on Lori's tip?
Oh, we're spot on. Yeah, I think being curious about your not only your body but what's outside of it in nature is critical for self development. Lori had mentioned gratitudes. It's a huge deal. I think starting your day and ending your day with gratitudes really plugs you into just how amazing your life is. Even the most simple, basic things that we take for granted every day need to be acknowledged for the energy to keep flowing in that way. I'm a huge fan of daily affirmations as well. So yeah, and yeah, get outside. I mean, you can sit on your mat or go to church or do whatever the hell you do to try to connect to spirituality, but there is no greater spirituality than Mother Nature. So get out in it and feel it. Let it kick your ass and be rejuvenated by it at the same time.
We got some shout outs from the audience, Tim. I guess one of our members remembers you're stretching and says you're aging backwards. So that's delightful to hear,
Yeah,
right?
amen, brother.
Rainbow, what are your thoughts on Lori's tip?
I love it. Even just her talking about it, it creates movement. Movement. Think about water is what I think about. If you set water and it starts to get stagnant, what does it become? You know what I mean? That movement in whatever we do, creating our business, I'm learning that the more movement, the more we get, the more our bodies move. You know, I see these people that they're getting older and they're just welcoming to not moving, and your body gets so stiff. It doesn't get stiff if you move it. Go watch there's documentaries from Asia and other places that these people are in their 90s and they're moving better than people here in America in their 50s. And so movement, I'm completely yes, movement.
Tim, can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
Yeah, it's acknowledging the light within yourself and then that same light within others. And I use the word light to, I mean, that's pretty encompassing, right? Whether that's God or spirituality or a higher power or whatever it is. Like if you've got to be able to identify it within your own realm of like how it works for you. But then I think the biggest part of that is to be able to recognize that that's inside of every single person, regardless of their opinions or their beliefs or whatever. If you can recognize that light, the spirit is inside of every other person, you're going to get along in life a lot easier, a lot better for sure.
Rainbow, what are your thoughts on Tim's tip? I live it every day, and that's what I teach people to live is it's where it shines is your choice, and where it goes is, it's so important for us to remember that, and to remember how important it is that what we're giving outside of us, it's more important to also feed that and take care of yourself. And I love, gonna have to connect on his stretching ideas. Absolutely, definitely. I will be connecting with you.
I love it.
Lori, what are your thoughts on Tim's tip?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I didn't give such a great tip after hearing that, but I agree. And I think,
Okay.
Rainbow, you kind of mentioned, being a mirror. And, Tim saying that it really is about, pushing pause for a moment and being able to see others' lights, to be able to just like breathe and know that, hey, each and every single one of us has a light within us. And I think, especially in today's society, in this world we're living in right now, everybody is not pushing pause and taking the moment to connect with others. We're just overlooking everything and everyone. I feel like it's kind of like almost flipped in some sense, where monetary things would have all of the value instead of people, and people really hold the value of the light that we bring to others. And I feel like it's really flipped right now in society. So Tim, when you said that, it just really made me think about, like, gosh, I'm a little guilty of not pushing pause and taking a breath to really see the light in other people instead of overlooking them. And I'm looking at other things like working and making money, and that's not where I'm going to grow spiritually in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, it kind of hit me a little bit right here, because I was like, oh, he's talking directly to me.
Love that. Love that. Rainbow, refresh us. What was your tip?
Accountability, just finding more accountability, just being able to see where you are in life, see where you want to be, stop looking back at what happened so much, unless it's in a transformative way. We have so many roots that we're dissolving currently in life, and if you don't get to the very tips of those roots, all of us know how it works. Those roots grow back, and it'll keep coming in your face. So accountability to you working on those things. You can sit for until you're 50 and say, well, it's somebody else's fault that I'm this way. Or you can say, well, gosh, how can I create something out of what I've been given? What if that's what you believe in this life? In my experiences, I'm realizing that it was something I created. I chose. It's something that I needed to be when I was here. My accountability. You have to. It's accountability. I won't get lost into a conversation. It's definitely accountability. Just being able to look at yourself in the mirror, know that everybody's a mirror. Whatever you're calling to your life is necessary. Like just remembering the things that you're seeing are things that you're being called to witness.
Awesome.
Like
Awesome. Tim.
accountability. She just took
Oh,
accountability really quick. I'm so sorry. She just took
go ahead.
accountability in such a beautiful way. Like I almost cried, and I could feel her
Oh,
heart. That's why I had to tap, because it was amazing that she was like, gosh, you're right. I do need to pause. And how amazing we could all feel through all the streaming, how wonderful that felt, that everybody that felt what he said was necessary. We need to pause. And I believe the world is pausing more and more. And people like you are helping us get the word about how necessary pausing is. So thank you.
love it. There we go. Tim, what are your thoughts on Rainbow's tip? And apparently on Laura's accountability.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. What I'm hearing, like the word accountability, I think what I'm hearing, how I interpret that is just being present to your own greatness in the moment, like just being accountable for
Yeah.
what an unbelievable human being you are. And I think that goes back to a little bit about what Lori was talking about gratitude, and just taking a pause of being grateful for. I mean, we're alive, like everybody's alive. I mean, that's just what a blessing to be alive, regardless of circumstance, is unbelievable. So to just acknowledge that and recognize that, and then be accountable to that responsibility of like what it means to be alive. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, I'm all in. Thank you, Rainbow.
Thank you.
Love it, love it. And Lori, let's hear your thoughts on Rainbow's tip slash compliment to you.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to be here with everyone. It is a great reminder of the accountability that we have to really step into. You know, it's easy to say, hard to do. And sometimes I have to just step into self awareness and intention, and just like you said, that mirror and reflection, and be accountable, overall for, like you said, those mirrors, and knowing that I'm at cause, or I could be at cause, right? I think there's just a lot of beautiful reminders here and tips that everyone gave, and I feel very blessed in this moment to kind of be sitting at my computer at the right time to step in and get this first thing in the morning. So yay me. I'm winning already today. Thank you. Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Rainbow, apparently there's a ghost behind you.
My daughter, she didn't realize that I said I'm live streaming, so she says hi, bye.
All right, question from the audience. Lori, what type of tree resonates with your spirit? What a great question.
Oh, so you know, it's actually an almond tree. I
Ooh.
live in almond orchard country, but it's funny because I sit under them sometimes and realize the abundance that they give the world. Of not only do they feed us, but they feed the ground and the animals, and it's just really cool to sit underneath them. And they're not the most attractive looking tree, but the fact that they give so much back, um, the breath that we take, everything. I don't know. It really resonates with me. I think it's strength too, how deep its roots run into the ground. I'm in California, so there's a lot of fires, and there's some that are burnt down. And sometimes I will stand in front of the burnt down trees and say, I could be as resilient as this tree. And even after a fire takes to the tree, my deeps are as root, my strength is as strong. So the almond tree really resonates with me wholeheartedly. My kids say it's because I'm nutty, but that's maybe a little bit of truth in that.
That's great. That's great. All right, we've got another question. I guess it's for Rainbow, but I'm gonna open this to everyone. Have you ever experienced a shamanic journey? I heard you can stop someone with energy. Tell me about that. We'll start with Rainbow.
I actually provide shamanic journeys. That's part of what my journey is, and I have learned throughout my life experience to build into that. And yes, shamanic journeys are wonderful. A lot of people feel like it has to be medicinal. I was explaining this to someone yesterday. Shamanic journey is, again, someone that has the ability to reach the other side. Now, we all do. We are all shamans. We are all the light. We are all of this, all of us, but some of us are here to help others find that connection to themselves. So shamans and what we do aren't healers. We're people that take you to that awareness. So what we do is we activate your DMT in your body that is naturally there by taking you through an energetic experience, letting go of the programming, setting intentions beforehand. So yes, I've experienced quite a few. I've done medicinal journeys for people, and then eventually I learned how powerful the non-medicinal journey were, and how much we can move throughout our body, and the experiences are profound. I've myself have been through one and came out of it a completely different person. I literally used to have the worst road rage. Like if you could hear my mouth, people wouldn't even recognize me. But I came out of this and it was like I was able to see that mirror in people. This was about 8 years ago when I started really coming into the business. And I was able to look at people and see that myself in them in such a profound way that I see now how Buddhists and people that, go into that religion can have such compassion for people. So it's profound. And if you are feeling like you want to journey into something like that, reach either local to someone. I travel. Of course, expenses are paid by whoever has the journeys, if you have groups of people. But I just want you to know how important the powerful journey within each of you is. And if you're feeling that that's a necessity, go ahead, jump into it. It's life changing, but don't expect to ever go back. And people will fall out of your life like crazy because you're going to be aligning to a new version of yourself that won't fit a lot of the people that aren't choosing to make that version rise on their own.
Very fascinating. Tim, Lori, have anything else to add? Want to answer the question if you have had one?
Yeah, you know what? I actually own an ayahuasca retreat center in northern Peru in the Amazon.
What?
So yeah, I've done a bunch.
Which one?
Yeah, hey, how you doing, man?
In
It's called,
Cusco?
it's called. No, it's outside of Iquitos. It's
Okay.
like yeah, 50K, 50 kilometers east of Iquitos, out in the jungle. It's yeah, it's pretty special. It's a plant ceremonial plant medicine, all that. Yeah, so
Well, we're gonna talk about that real quick after the show. Jesus. All right. How often you go down there?
He just sneaks it in there.
you know, unfortunately, COVID put a pretty big hurt on Peru. So running tours down there since prior to COVID, but I think that
Wow.
you know, like Rainbow alluded to, if you feel called to, if the medicine's calling you, you'll know. And I've had quite a few people express interest, you know, just in the last few months. So I suspect we'll be putting some more trips together here shortly.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. We have a question that
Oh,
I
and then
don't know if
somebody,
I
you know
understand.
what? Somebody else asked in the chat, Austin. What's behind me? That's Hanuman, Hindu, child of the gods, monkey lord Hanuman. That's what that is. Whoever was asking that in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Fascinating. All right, guys, we're
Yeah.
running out of time, so we're going to move on and do our daily challenge here. We need to put our heads together and come up with a daily challenge, which is a task or series of tasks that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available to anyone in the world from North Korea to South Africa. What thoughts do you guys have?
Do we just go?
To improve our spiritual health holistically? Any of you can answer yes.
I've learned in the last 2 months, for me, again, I always do off of experience. Take that 5 minutes, the moment that you open your eyes, to just not even silence, just be in silence and breathe. If thought comes to you, breathe. Think of breath. That's all you do. Give it 5 minutes. It's changing my life. It is changing my life. Before
You
you
know,
do
I was
Okay.
saying,
anything, no internet, absolutely nothing. It makes me not want to be on anything. It makes me want to get up and just touch the ground and go outside. And like she said, be outside with Lori is amazing. Just her energy is so brilliant. Just be outside.
Be outside. Okay. All right. Um, so when you first wake up, take a deep breath of silence,
Five
and then
minutes.
run
Take that
outside and
five
hug
minutes.
a tree.
Just breathe and just think of breath. Nothing. Don't allow your yesterday, tomorrow to bother you. Literally, nobody needs anything, just yourself. You're going back into what he said, back. You're finding your core, being who you are before you have to think you're being all the other things. It makes
All
you
right.
curious. It definitely makes you curious to go deeper, and you'll want more of that time.
I was gonna
Any other things? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, being that this is somewhat of a challenge, I think I know for myself, I suffer from perfectionism and wanting to do it all, be it all. I want to be at Rainbow's level, and I just stepped into this today, right? So, for people that are watching, people that are new, maybe you've never done this before, start somewhere. It's baby steps. It's like you said, waking up in bed and just laying for 5 minutes without getting up and just taking some breaths, maybe even just looking out the window is life changing because you're not running to the phone, you're not running to the coffee pot, you're not running to something that is constantly distracting us from this world that we're living in right now. So I think if anything, creating a daily ritual for yourself is establishing that routine, whatever it is, and it's going to be different for everyone. Um, my morning routine is, it's kind of funny when you said that, is kind of just, I lay in bed and I have cats, so they're walking all over me. And I used to get irritated, but then I realized I'm so blessed. Like I have cats. I have cats that love me too, you know, and just laying in bed there. So just find something that you can commit to and hold yourself accountable to. Like in everything, it's a routine, consistency, starting somewhere, or maybe you just want to go hug the trees. I don't know, but create a routine.
Every time you say
All right.
hug a
So when we
tree, I
first
feel
wake
it
up,
in
we're
my
gonna
body.
yeah. I could hug trees. Okay, so let's do this. All right, when you first wake up, you're gonna take a moment of just sitting in silence, and then we're gonna add that you look out window at nature for 2 more minutes. You know, something like that. Right? That sound good? And then I know it's wintertime in some places, so people may not be able to hug a tree if there's 2 feet of snow.
Why not?
And then Tim, you were talking about affirmations. Should we do a little affirmation thing too?
You know what? Actually, I want to add on. So I know we're talking about trees, which is awesome to be connected with nature that way. The challenge that I would present to everybody is to get outside daily and spend a couple minutes facing the sun and just close your eyes and allow, even if it's a cloudy day or whatever, just face the sun and allow that sun energy into your heart. And then while you're acknowledging that the sun is shining into your heart, bring up some ideas or thoughts, the people, person, thing, whatever, that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel loved, that makes you feel happy, and combine those two things, the sun in your heart with some whatever it is that makes you feel happy and fulfilled.
All right, I think we've got some good things. So first wake up, you're going to take a couple of minutes, and if you can't do it when you first wake up, I mean that's the goal. But if you're trying, take a couple of minutes to just empty your mind and sit in silence. I might do this at the same time, and then you can look out the window or go outside, depending on the weather of your location. Um, yeah, if you're in Alaska and 10 feet of snow, maybe you just look outside, but you got to let the sun hit you and enter your heart. Right? Right, Tim? Enter your heart. And while you're staring at trees, imagine that you are as resilient as them. Sound like a good daily challenge?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for that shout out, Nano. Yeah, there was a lot of wisdom. And also, we just got in that this is currently the most live watch show we have ever had here. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Well, again, the energy here is nuts. Like I almost have tears. I'm like, don't put my tears out, but they're tears of joy because I'm so grateful that, yeah, both of us. So embrace it. Let's teach people embrace that. When you guys feel things and you know things and you want people to feel those emotions, that's what people like us do. We help you feel those things so that you don't have to feel them alone. You don't have to do this alone. Is it overwhelming? Is it scary to have to deal with those things when we're talking about them? Heck yeah, it is. But we're here to share with you the experience that we were in our most weakest moments so that we can walk and hold your hand through those moments. So just remember, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for having us here. You know how powerful it is that you're doing that you're getting these people together. And we're saying not a lot of people know how to pause, but I'm going to return that back and send out to the universe that all these people are ready to pause, and we're going to teach them to pause by just talking about it.
I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, we ran way over. We are going to wrap it up. Lori, Tim, Rainbow, thank you guys so much for being on our show. And everyone watching out there, make sure you go follow them on Insta and Facebook so you can go say hi and see what other wisdom they have. We are going to wrap it up real quick. We do have an awesome daily challenge. So, daily challenge is going to be ideally when you wake up, lay in your bed and do nothing in silence for 2 to 10 minutes, however long you choose. And then it would be awesome if your next step is to go to your window or go outside and let that sun penetrate you and hit your heart so you can feel it in your soul. Maybe hug a tree if you've got one, but at least look at a tree and remind yourself that you too can be as resilient